Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. There's definitely something wrong if I'm sitting outside in Canada. Oh, yes, I forgot. It's about to become summer. Today, our topic. So, you're contemplating for the intercompany transfer, or also known as the ICT, to enter Canada with a work permit. Or maybe you're already here on a closed work permit in Canada with an ICT. Either you decided yourself, or perhaps you are an immigration practitioner who brought your clients through this LMI exempt work permit into Canada. Now you have to convert to a Canadian PR, right? That's the $1 million question that most people have a tough time to figure out. This is the topic of our live feed today. No editing, no censorship. The raw truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, the Minister of Immigration. And remember, folks, we've got our Ingwe May 2023 tour in London, UK and Dubai this month. If you'd like to register to meet face-to-face in any of these cities, use the link which will be posted in the description of this video right after. Quick introduction if you don't know me yet. My name is Reza and I work with the Ingwe immigration team helping applicants move, whether it's for yourself, your kids, your business, or all of the above. We do make it happen. Are you tired of immigration companies pushing one specific program down your throat without providing you options based on your unique profile? Instead of them deciding for you, when working with us, you're in control of your own destiny, and the final decision is up to you, not us. Let me make this clear. I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber, but I work hands-on with our licensed team, working on actual applications and communicating with the immigration departments, both overseas and inside Canada, on a daily basis, representing our clients. These videos are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience. And of course, if you're thinking of immigrating to Canada, we're here to help. Get a free email assessment by filling out the form below, or reach out to us directly if you're an immigration practitioner. Let's get to it, folks. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and we're covering the very popular LMI exempt work permit program for Canada, which many lawyers and consultants and immigration agencies are promoting time and time after with their clients. It's a great program under two circumstances. Your company is eligible for the ICT LMI exempt work permit to set up a branch in Canada, and two, you understand that it's not a direct PR program and you need to combine it with another program to convert yourself or your client to a Canadian permanent resident inside Canada, right? This specific video focuses on business owners and entrepreneurs, and less so for key staff under the larger corporate ICT structures. Although some of the options we're going to discuss today for your PR could apply to you as well if you're a key executive under the larger corporate ICT structures. Here are the 4 realistic ways you or your client can convert to permanent residency inside Canada under the intercompany transfer program. There's 4 options: express entry, provincial nominee program, interesting, spouses as an alternative way to convert, and the 4th way is abandon and be nominated by another company for your PR. And we'll get into that, all these 4 options today in detail. The first option, which most of you are already aware of, is utilizing express entry, which is the federal skilled immigration program, after you've had your intracompany transfer work permit for 12 months and the business has been operational for that duration. Since it's an LMI exempt work permit, you may already know that you cannot claim the valid job offer points in express entry until 12 months of paid work has been accumulated through your ICT work permit. Here's the key criteria to consider when planning through express entry to convert your ICT work permit to a Canadian PR. 1. You need to meet the minimum eligibility criteria for express entry under the Canadian Experience class or the Federal Skilled Worker class. If you own more than 50% of the branch inside Canada directly, you will not be eligible under the CEC, but will be considered under the Federal Skilled Work Express Entry category, which is fine. Having a minimum language score, education, and other criteria are basic things you need to consider for Express Entry. And if you're claiming an executive or management role in the company under your ICT work permit, well, for Express Entry, you will need a Canadian language benchmark of 7 minimum. Otherwise, if you're not in a management role, then you can even opt for a Canadian language benchmark of 6 for lower skill level occupations under your ICT work permit for Express Entry. One of the Express Entry requirements under the ministerial instructions is to claim a job offer based on an LMI exempt work permit if you've been paid for an accumulated 12-month period by the company stated on your work permit. Hint, you could technically be getting paid by the overseas headquarters if it owns the majority shares of your branch in Canada. Number 2, when claiming the job offer points in Express Entry to boost your profile, you will either opt for the 50 points, which will be for tier level positions 0, 1, or 2, or 3, or you will try to claim the maximum bonus points, which is tier 0, 0, I call it now 000 category, as an executive with 200 points. Let's be honest, folks, all of you watching this video want to claim the 200 points, probably. Let's not kid ourselves. The 50 points is easy, almost by default. If you meet the minimum eligibility criteria, you can claim the valid job offer points based on your LMI exempt work permit after 12 months. The 200 points is trickier. You need to prove that you're working as a high-level executive at that company and have middle managers, lower-level staff, and even departments, and that you're not working on the day-to-day operations of the company, right? Because you're supposed to be the CEO or the managing director. Obviously, this is not possible if you have a 1 to 2 staff operation and only one branch. You need to prove that you have been performing the job duties in the tier level 00012 NOC code to 00015, which are the 12, 13, 14, 15, the 4 key NOC codes for executives and director roles, which are not government-based. And it's all about strategizing and managing the middle managers as an executive. The key for an LMI exempt work permit to claim 200 points is to prove that you have been doing this executive role and the job duties for the past 12 months, which requires specific structures in the company and branch inside Canada. We will be releasing a special video in the month of June for the specific techniques you need to use on claiming 200 points for Express Entry profile. Let's look at the next option to convert your ICT work permit to a PR, the provincial nominee programs. If you're stuck on an ICT work permit and do not meet the Express Entry eligibility criteria or can't get enough points, you need to be hopping over to one of these 3 provincial nominee programs to become eligible to apply for a Canadian PR inside Canada. 1, the Ontario Provincial Entrepreneur Program, which is one of the few entrepreneurial programs which allows you to transition with your existing ICT business to the specific provincial program without having to restart your business from scratch. This is a provincial stream and has higher investment criteria, but the education and language requirements are more relaxed and you have more time as well. The second provincial nominee program, you can transfer over to the New Brunswick provincial nominee skilled immigration stream. This is a skilled immigration stream where you cannot own the majority shares of the company inside Canada, but you could indirectly if your head office owned it and you own the head office but not the Canadian branch, and have worked for this company in the province in your ICT work permit for minimum 1 year. You may ask, what's the advantage of this over the Express Entry route? Well, the minimum eligibility criteria for language and education are much more relaxed, and you don't need to claim 200 points by claiming to be a high-level executive. So if you have trouble scaling your ICT business to claim 200 points in Express Entry, or if you're not eligible for Express Entry, the New Brunswick Skilled Immigration Nominee Program is one of the options that you can consider. And let's look at the third provincial program, then the Alberta Opportunity Stream, which is also a provincial program in Alberta. Similar to New Brunswick, you can skip express entry with this program after you set up your branch with your closed work permit inside Canada, inside the province. You can issue yourself a job offer from the new branch even before you claim 12 months work experience here. As long as you have a high school degree, Canadian language benchmark of 5 exam score, and 2 years foreign work experience in the same position for which you're getting a job offer, then you don't own you cannot own the branch directly, but rather indirectly through the head office overseas. And then you can literally be nominated for a PR within 2 months from the time you apply through the Alberta PNP Opportunity Stream, after which you file your PR application with the federal IRCC. It's very simple and effective under this specific provincial program. The other option, as an ICT work permit holder, to convert to PR if you can't go express entry or the provincial programs, is perhaps consider your spouse or common law who is inside Canada with an open work permit. They may have a stronger express entry profile than you, and if they don't hold shares of 50%, more than 50% in your branch in Canada, they can gain and claim Canadian work experience and potentially get a boost after 2 years of work experience inside Canada to be invited for PR. Keep in mind that no job offer points will be possible on an open work permit of your spouse or partner, and they would need to have a strong profile such as age, 2 post-secondary degrees, and strong language exam scores to claim a higher CRS score in express entry. This option is not for everyone, but it's still possible. And if you're in the ICT corporate structure where you don't own any shares in the company and you're on a closed work permit, well, same thing goes for you. You can claim Canadian work experience and have the company offer you a job based on your 12-month accumulated work experience inside Canada. So if you're express entry ready, that could be another option for you. And here's the last but not least option for ICT work permit holders who can't utilize any of the options which we just explained. It may sound drastic, but if you're stuck, this may be your only option. And it's not so bad. You don't meet the minimum language requirements of express entry. Neither does you or your spouse or your partner. You're not in one of those provinces which we just explained as an alternative route for PR from ICT. Let's say you're stuck in this situation. No other way for your Canadian PR. What do? Well, it's simple. You have an ICT ongoing business branch inside Canada, right? It's fully operational. The only solution is that you have another company in your industry buy you or have you hire you through the PNP as an executive to join their group. So let's say you own a restaurant or marketing agency branch as an ICT. Another company in the same field can buy out your company as long as they're in the province and you're eligible. And they could nominate you to join their group as an executive through provincial nominee skilled immigration stream. It could be a buyout or it could be a joint venture. Well, how do you do this? Not difficult. In some provinces like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Alberta, and even BC, the nominees can have a minority share in the company that is nominating them for PR through the provincial nominee program. This means you just need to use your creativity here, either investing in that company as a minority shareholder and then they nominate you, or a combination of you buying minority shares and then them buying you out, or doing a JV with your company and wanting you to join their executive group. Here's a quick hint. The BC language exam scores are not mandatory under the BC Provincial Skilled Immigration Stream. So maybe that's your ticket out into PR. It may sound more complicated than it is, but it's not that bad, and it's very possible. And it could be your last option for possible PR route from your intra-company transfer work permit. Trust me, it's not that bad. And there you have it, folks. All the possible options for the intra-company transfer in LMI exempt work permit under the C61, C62, C63, previously known as C12, to become eligible and apply for your Canadian permanent residency inside Canada. If you're in this situation and you need advice, or you're an immigration practitioner or an agency requiring assistance to apply for your ICT work permit or convert your clients to PR, feel free to reach out to us. There are numerous options available. You just need to know which ones to select, which match your profile or your client's profile. All the information is out there and it's public. And all you'll need to know is where to look and how to put the pieces together to achieve your immigration goals. See? It's that simple. And before we go into our YouTube questions, because we are in a live, quick outro, and thank you for everyone who's joined us. And of course, if you're thinking about moving to Canada permanently or temporarily, you're at the right place. We can only guarantee you one thing. You will know what to expect, the entire process clearly laid out for you, and all the risks identified, including costs. Our legal agreements are based on payment milestones, which are linked directly to your application progression. We do not take 100% advance payment for your Canadian business immigration applications. And if you're looking for discounts, well, look no further. I know of a great website that has millions of items on sale every day. It's Amazon, right? But if you're looking for results in your immigration plans, that's our expertise. No surprises, no promotions, just results. We have a $1 million liability insurance which protects you and us from fraud and mistakes. Or besides that, we also have an insured client trust account with our Canadian banking institutions. Our team speaks over 9 languages, and we help clients from over 49 different countries, and this list is growing every day. Click the link below this video and get a free email assessment for eligible applicants. And if you're ready to apply, would like to book a one-on-one consultation with me or any of my licensed team members, you can book it directly using the consultation link, also provided in the description of this video when it's posted. And of course, if you have questions, we're here weekly, live, every Thursday at 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And we can answer all your immigration questions free on the spot. And just to let everyone know, we can see the YouTube questions and comments, and that's who we're going to reply to today. And if you are on Facebook and Instagram, well, hop over to YouTube if you want us to answer any of your questions or announce your comments. So let's quickly go in. We've got Rosita who says, Hola Reza June. Hola back, Rosita. Nasir Khan says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Nasir. Thank you for joining us. Abu Bakr Maksamed. Thanks, I'm watching. Abu Bakr, thank you. Hello, Reza. Hello back. Nasir Khan, it looks good. What type of business are eligible for this ICT? The ICT is basically an intra-company transfer program. So it means the headquarters are planning to expand in Canada, and they have the financial capacity, the people, the revenues, the financials, and the justification to set up a branch. That will allow an executive, a shareholder, or key staff to be able to receive a closed work permit to come to Canada to run and operate this branch or subsidiary. And that's what we call intercompany transfer. Akhtar Abbas says, hello Reza, do you have an office in Vancouver? If there is, what is the contact number? Hello Abbas, we do help clients all across Canada, but unfortunately we do not have offices everywhere in Canada. Most of our work is virtual, most of our work is online, telephone, email, virtual, but we do not have a physical location in Vancouver, unfortunately. Well done, Musomekwa. Closed work permit is draining, especially for candidates in requiring the LMI application from the start. Processing times are so lengthy, and since April 19th, I never heard of my LMI approval. Well done, Musomekwa. So not all closed work permits require an LMI. Some do, and some are LMI exempt. In the example we've provided today, intracompany transfer is LMI exempt. Bhupinder, good morning, Reza. Good morning back. Good evening, Bhupinder. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us here today on our YouTube Live. Akhtar Abbas says, how can I transfer my parents' company and senior manager to my Canada company on ICT? Well, if you have a company here, Akhtar, and you have a branch overseas which is owned by similar shareholder structure, and you have somebody on payroll on that branch, after 1 year they could become eligible to be transferred over to Canada. Nasir Khan, exploratory visit needs in this program. Can I apply with Canada? If yes, what is the recent approved file timeline? How much funds are needed? Well, exploratory trips are not necessary for intra-company transfer, but we highly advise smaller to medium-sized companies to do it, because if you don't, there is a chance of refusal. But if you do visit Canada, your chances will go over 95% for approval. Timelines for approval with an intra-company transfer can be around 4.5 months. How much funds is needed? It's based on the company. Intra-company transfers is based on the company overseas, the branch having enough financials and reserves to invest in the branch. Mahdi says, Reza, hope to see you soon in the Middle East for face-to-face consultation. Yes, always available, Mahdi. Bhupinder says, C11 and ICT, which one is good? Bhupinder, C11 is for self-employed people who may be in the arts, culture type or athletic type occupations. We don't use it for business persons who want to actually establish a business anymore. Okay, so intra-company transfer is for businesses, headquarters overseas, which want to set up a branch. So they're two completely different programs for two completely different profiles. Akhtar Abbas says, do I need LMI approval to transfer staff from parent company to Canada? No, you do not, Akhtar, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria and the staff you're transferring over would be eligible, which means minimum 12 months on payroll or some kind of remuneration in the company, and justification of why they need to transfer over to this branch in Canada. Excuse me, folks. Nasir Khan says, processing time is a big issue with IRCC timeline, not matched the actual timeline. Yeah, processing times are slow, but usually within 4 to 6 months we get most of the decisions and applications processed. So that shouldn't be a problem. There you go, folks. I think I've answered all your questions. If there's no more questions on the intercompany transfer, we'd be happy to discuss this next week when we're back here on our live session. And we got one question. A Bansa, good morning, Reza. Your smile is so energetic. Well, Bansa, we've got sun out here in Canada. Finally, we can actually be outside without freezing, which is great. So yes, there is reason to be happy. IRCC is back to work from their strike. So again, that's also great. Those are reasons to celebrate. Bhupinder says, I'm planning to visit Canada in June end for 20 days. Are you available? Yes, Bhupinder, I will be in Canada June and July, hopefully. So far, no plans. I will be back by the end of May in Canada and will be available. If yourself would like to visit, would be happy. And actually in June, for a few days, I will be in Winnipeg as well, in Manitoba. So depending on the days you'll be there, perhaps we can coordinate a meeting. And anyone who's out there, we're happy to help, of course. And of course, we're here for you guys, or for everyone of our audience, every Thursday, answering your questions live. Sometimes you got more questions, sometimes less, which is fine with me. Less questions, the less I need to talk, which is easy. But this video will be posted on our social media channels, especially YouTube, about the intracompany transfer transition to a PR, because many people think intracompany transfer can lead them to a PR. Yes, it can, but the program itself is not a permanent immigration program. Bhupinder says, dates please in Winnipeg. I believe, I have to check, Bhupinder. I will let you know, okay? I don't remember the exact date. Somewhere, not sure. First half of June, but send me a quick email. I'll let you know my dates. I forgot the exact dates because I got a lot of dates going on. Well done, Muse Mekwa says, looking forward for another live on TFWP, Reza. Yeah, I mean, well done. Depending on the programs, we like to discuss various immigration streams, various immigration hacks, various policy updates and changes, and discuss temporary work permits, temporary immigration, and permanent immigration to Canada. Nasir Khan says, one of my friends applied for C11 in Latin, no responses, 7 months. So Nasir, just to let you know, when you apply inside Canada without flag polling, the processing time is longer than if you had applied from overseas. That's a fact. So work permits can take 5 to 6 months sometimes here. Just regular work permits. I'm just even talking about postgraduate work permits. So a C11, I would not suggest, or even a C12 or a C10, a 10 to apply from inside Canada online. If you do it, you need to flag poll if you're eligible, or you need to apply from overseas. I do not recommend applying from inside Canada, okay, for a C11. You've got to be applying from outside or flag polling. Those are the keys to consider, okay? Everything is possible, folks. You just need to know how to do it, when to do it, and meeting and putting all the pieces together correctly to get the results you want within the timeline you want, correct? So hopefully that clarifies anything, and not sure if there's any other questions, folks, but would be happy to answer any work permit, study permit, PR, or any other immigration related questions, as we are providing general guidance and information on programs, and these are not specific to your specific cases. As we do not have enough information, please do not consider this as a consultation. This is general information and guidance on Canadian immigration. Bhupinder says, thank you very much. I will write a mail. Thank you, Bhupinder. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We will be back. And if you, of course, if you're watching this recording and you're like, what is this guy doing? Well, we're just answering the questions and comments on our YouTube channel. We're here every Thursday, 11 a.m. local time in Toronto, and we answer all of your questions for free on the spot. Okay? Nasir Khan says, thanks. Thanks back. Abu Bakr, thanks, bro. No problem, Abu Bakr. Great seeing you as well. Akhtar says, can my wife do her own business and on an open work permit while I have my own Canada branch on ICT? Of course. An open work permit means you can do anything, right? You can work, not work, be self-employed, be employed at your own company, somebody else's company, your ICT company. An open work permit gives you all options. So if your spouse or common law partner has an open work permit, they are allowed to work legally in any situation, right? Anywhere in Canada. So that is probably the best type of work permit to have, folks. And remember, who can get open work permits? Well, eligible graduated international students can get open work permits upon graduating from an eligible academic program. Spouses or common law partners of international students that are studying an academic program, an eligible academic program, can receive open work permits. Or spouses or common law partners of temporary foreign workers. So anyone with a closed work permit can have their spouse or common law have an open work permit. As well, vulnerable people have open work permit options, as well as asylum seekers who have an application in process inside Canada would be eligible for an open work permit as well. There are a few other alternatives as well, but typically these are all your open work permit options. The rest is all closed. And again, with a closed work permit, remember, these could be LMIA or LMI exempt work permits, and you cannot work for anyone else except the employer stated on your work permit if it's a closed work permit. Correct? Akhtar Abbas says, yes, I replied to that. Akhtar Abbas says, thank you so much, Reza. No problem, folks. We're back here next Thursday. If you've just joined us, okay, Aryan Kud, he just joined us. Hi, my judicial review has been settled on 16th February, but my application still refused. How long it takes to change the process? Well, Ariane, just so you know, if you have a judicial review and it's been settled, okay, February 16th, then the Department of Justice potentially will ask for a reconsideration or reprocessing of your application. Doesn't mean you're going to be approved. So you have to wait for another officer, typically a senior officer, to look at your application and to make a second decision. A judicial review or a settlement when you apply for leave doesn't mean you're going to get approved. It may mean it's just going to be reprocessed again. Angel says, hi Reza, can you have 2 valid temporary resident visas, like a valid visitor visa and a valid study permit? Yeah, of course. Angel, I love your questions. They're always curveballs, but this one isn't. A valid visitor visa is a visa. A valid study permit is a permit. It's authorization to study for a program of 6 months or more. Correct? A visa does not collide or in any way is in any way contradictory to having a work permit or a study permit. You could have a study permit or not a visa. A visa allows you to enter Canada. That's it. Doesn't allow you to do anything else. A study or a work permit allow you to either work or study inside Canada. They're not visas. You cannot re-enter Canada without a visa if you have a study permit or work permit, unless you're going to the US or one of those little islands. I forgot their names. There's 2-3 exceptions to that rule. But yeah, I hope I've answered your question. And Angel, you always have those trick questions up your sleeve. I like it. I enjoy it. And please, folks, bring me more trick questions. Bring me some curveballs. Sometimes I don't know the answer either. That's fine. We'll be upfront about it. But we can find the answer. That's the key. Information is out there. We just need to know where to look and how to grab it. Same with you. There's no difference. It's all about common sense. Arya Kurt says, yes, sir, I know, but it takes usually to convert from refusal to process. It may take 2, 3, or 4 months. And then remember, they were on strike for 2 weeks, so that's delayed everything, right? But typically, if it was settled on February 16th, you should hear back very soon, Arya. Okay, so hopefully within this month. But again, it depends on the embassy, the processing center overseas. Some processing centers in Middle East and Africa are so slow, it's ridiculous. But then there's certain processing centers which are faster, correct? And it depends on the volume that processing center, that embassy is handling on a day-to-day basis. Okay, folks, thanks for joining us. Great seeing everyone. We'll be back here next Thursday, live, 11 a.m. North America. Oh, quick point, folks, I forgot. Next Thursday, we won't be live. We're going to have a video of our webinar recording. Unfortunately, I will be on the road, so I'll literally be in an airplane during our live next week. But that's it. Only for May 15th, I believe. Hold on, not 15th. May 18th. So only if you're for May 18th, our live will not be live. That's the only time this year, hopefully, that we can't actually do a live. So I do apologize. The week after we're live and we'll be in Dubai. Okay? But next week, it'll be a recording of the webinar we hosted a few weeks back. I will be in an airplane, so just for May 18th, no actual live. But we'll be back right after. Deepak Dasvani, how do I change my closed work permit without another job in hand? Oh, you can change to a visitor record. If you want another work permit, you have to be eligible for a work permit, Deepak. So you either, if you don't have another job and you're converting to become a student, that could be one, or maybe your spouse or common law has a job and separately from your status and you're converting to an open work permit, or maybe they're going to study, right? There's various options, not a lot of realistic options if you're here alone and you don't have another job. Things can be done, but it's tricky. You got to navigate it correctly. You could set up your own business and become your own entrepreneur. That's another way of getting a work permit, right? But again, everyone's case is different. Would need more details on that. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. We'll be back in 2 weeks, but then tune in to our webinar recording next Thursday, which is May 18th, and then the Thursday after that, we're here live. Thanks again, folks. Have a good one. Enjoy this summer. Finally, the weather is nice.